Okay, everyone. It's been the obligatory 15 seconds or so. Today is the 30th of June, 2021, and man, it's been a crazy few weeks. I'm going to admit to everybody that I've been stressed with the loss of Bettina, also known as Nancy Morgan Hart of Headlines with a Voice. Hello, we the people. Thank you for letting me know I'm 5 by 5. I can talk a little louder tonight, not a whole lot. I've been putting up a few videos in the last couple of days as things have progressed. Uh, but something happened this afternoon that I've been hesitant to say anything about. And then, as usual, I lay down to try to go to sleep, and this nagging thing in the back of my head says, "No, you've got to get up and do this." And I'm going, "But I'm tired. I don't want to do it." "No, you will get up and do this." Now, hello, Mrs. Cat. Thank you for being here. Some other things happened today as well. I'm not going to get into that too much. I sent a message to Felicia Lockhart of the Lockhart Perspective. I suspect she's on here watching this. I did a tribute to Bettina today at the request of her husband. It's not going to be public, it's just for the family, at least for right now. But I was watching the video, I was reviewing it, and I saw this anomaly on there that was really quite fantastic. I can't really tell you what it is because, like I said, it's for the family, so I'm going to hold off on that. Let me just say that I've ruled out any reflections, other anomalies that may have caused this particular thing to happen. So it's been a very crazy day today. Hi, Liza Jean. Thank you for being here. At any rate, let me get to the crux of the matter. As you can see here, we have gone too far. Uh, Before I get into that, let me review a few things. The Western Five Eyes countries, in particular, those being the US, Canada, Britain, New Zealand, and Australia, have gone way too far in this entire. I got to be careful how I say it because I don't want this to be taken down. This entire mess of restricting people, let's put it that way, and insisting on the GMI, as you all know what that means. Those of you who don't know what that means, yes, everybody look at Truth Will Set You Free if you don't know what GMI stands for. Thank you very much. We've got that. We've got the push for transgenderism, LGBTQ, pedophilia, Satanism, name it. All of these, the worship of Moloch, the worship of Baphomet, the destruction of the male and female relationship, the destruction of the family, the attack on our DNA. Um, uh, I mean, I could just go on and on, but this situation with changing the DNA and also not just the problems with the pedophilia and all that, but also the situation that and we've known about this for a long time, and it's coming out very strongly now. This entire thing where they're doing these modifications into uh, different forms of animal life to make them half human, half something else. That's rampant right now, and we understand that these, for the lack of a better term, chimeras are out there. These clones, etc., with these other things. I mean, this is the stuff out of mythology, Greek mythology, the Minotaur and the things like that. They're actually doing that, ladies and gentlemen. They're monkeying with the key of life. Now, if you believe the scriptures, all of these things I just listed are reasons for God to destroy us. If you believe in God. If not God, just simple cause and effect. You mess with the keys of life and you mess with the things that keep us alive and well on this earth. They're going after CO2, of course, and I'm talking between the lines here, which is one of the four ingredients of life here on earth. CO2, oxygen, water, and sunlight. You take one of those out and you destroy life, and they're saying there's too much CO2. No, there isn't. Trump today goes to the southern border, I mentioned this earlier, okay? His narcissism is down there doing that while people are sitting in jail rotting because they were supporting him on January 6th. He led them into a trap and then left them there to rot. And I don't care what all these Trumpsters and right wingers say, that's what he did. And Alex Jones helped him do it. And Alex Jones is not pulling back and saying, Trump, you gotta disavow this whole thing on the GMI, and you have to admit that those people that are thrown in these jails right now, that this is political persecution. And he says absolutely nothing. Hi, Roosevelt. The guy he has no loyalty to anybody but his own narcissistic self. Whether he's the AC or not, he's part of the AC system. But it's worse than that. We have churches. We have people in general who have put up with this tolerance for these horrible things like LGBTQ and the pedophilia and all that, and the trafficking in children. Epstein, yeah, oh yeah, he committed suicide. No, he was either released and given a new life, or they killed him. One of the two, and Barr and Trump know it. Satanism is widespread. I'm not saying paganism, I'm saying Satanism. We have problems going on and nobody does anything about it. I mean, nobody. The entire federal government is compromised and Marxist communist, satanic. So is the government of Britain, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. Did I say Australia? All those that have based their governments on the Magna Carta and freedom and liberty have turned their back on it and have enslaved all of their people contrary to their charters. And no one does anything about it in positions of competent, so-called competent authority. As I mentioned earlier today, General Milley, General Honore, and General Austin, who is the Secretary of Defense, are actively now setting the pace to go after anyone who doesn't go along with the LGBTQ, CRT, diversity programs, or who believes in the Constitution or believes that there was a problem with the situation that happened in 2020 on who is running the country now. Again, I'm using words in between here. Now, I don't like Trump, and you all know that, because I think that he is playing the part of the suffering servant. He's not that, but he's playing it, Isaiah 52 and 53, to throw off his supporters who believe that he's been persecuted. He's the most ineffectual president for liberty that I think we've had in a long time, worse than Obama. As a matter of fact, I was reminded today, not only did he do the bump stock ban, but he also did the vape ban, which happened just prior to the outbreak that we experienced in 2020. Why? It's all cover. It's all play. It's all game. And he's an evil son of a bitch. And those people down there on the boarding, including Alex Jones, are worshiping his sorry ass and throwing us for. I'm not saying Biden's any better, but this is a game and you all know it. You all know it. So let's get to the crux of the matter tonight. I'm fired up. Yes, I am. Some very interesting things have happened today. Some testimonies to me. And Felicia Lockhart, I want to thank you. Anybody that's here that's not following Felicia on the Lockhart perspective, you're really losing out. You're really losing out. Yeah, Biden and Trump are friends. This is all a big joke. So, I was sitting out there tonight and I was looking at the eastern sky tonight, and I saw something form in the clouds. And you might say, Roy, you're just crazy. You're just crazy. Okay, okay, I'm crazy. I've been under a lot of pressure lately. I've lost a very dear friend. In the same way, basically, I lost my wife 13 years ago. And I'm about to lose some other close people to the same sort of thing because they're throwing this stuff out at us as weapon systems. I won't go any further than that, but yes, I'm pretty upset about things because they're warring against us and it's very obvious. So, let me go back to February 26th, and you can go back and you can check this. No, I wasn't married to Nancy. You were not married to Nancy. Oh no, no, no. She was very happily married, and not to me. No, but we resonated. Liza Jean, was that Liza Jean that asked that? Yeah, on a level about all of the things that all of the things I've been talking about since 1978, 9, and then increasingly more so over the years. And then she started in 2017, and we just discovered each other on YouTube and became friends. That's what that is. But I definitely have a connection to her. There's no doubt about that. And I'm not going to talk. I don't mean yeah, yeah, the physical liaison. I never met her in person. Okay, we talked on the phone, we did emails, we did DMs on Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. As most of you who follow me on Twitter know, and she's mentioned me, and I mentioned her. That's all it was. I respect the marital relationship. I did not violate that, and I never will, not knowingly. Okay, and in this situation, not even close. No, she was a wonderful, wonderful, courageous, fantastic woman. We're all suffering a loss because of this. This is one of the most terrible things that's happened to us in a long time, more so than almost anything else I can think of. So, let's go back to the subject matter at hand. We've gone too far. On February 26th this year, 2021, I put up a video, and again, when this happened, I thought, man, do you want to do this, Roy? They're going to put you in the loony farm. I don't care, because if I get this and I don't warn people, God bless me with knowing what's going to happen. Apparently, and if I don't pass it on, that's on me. Okay, if the watchman on the watchtower doesn't blow the trumpet with an assured sound, the blood that's spilled is then on his shoulders. And I don't want that. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what's happening, what I'm seeing, like I have done with all of my reporting and all my commentary and everything. Like this whole thing with this new thing that Biden put out about domestic terrorism and who it is. I said back in 1990 on radio shows that at that point in time I had gone through the terrorism counteraction course for the Army. I was one of the first to go through in the 80s, and they had a list of definitions of terrorists, domestic terrorists, that was so wide that it could include anybody. And I've given one example out of the dozens I knew then, which was if you own your own business, in other words, you don't get a W-2 from a corporation, you have one firearm in the house, and you have a 2 weeks food supply, you are by definition a terrorist. And they can use that to go against you. And those definitions have now expanded to the point where if you dissent against what the government tells you, you refuse the GMI, you say you don't like Biden, you say you don't like Honore or Milley or whatever, you are considered a domestic terrorist by definition. And I warned that it was going here because those assholes in Congress will not protect you, whether they be Republicans or Democrats. And now they even passed this law. They didn't stop this thing of using allowing these clones and these chimeras between humans and other forms of animal life. Don't you see where we are? They're destroying the male and female relationship. They want to stop reproduction. They want to say that a he is a I and a she is a ah. Z, G, whatever. Everything but what it is. Lies. Disgusting lies. As Isaiah said, and in those days the world shall go away backwards, and they shall think to change times and laws. Monty, I hope I'm not walking over your live stream tonight, but I had to put this up. Monograph. If I'm walking over it, I'm sorry. So here we are. February 26, 2021, I reported on a video, and I wasn't sure I should even do it, but I went ahead and did it, that I saw these two words form in the western sky. This one means a decree. This one means an overthrow. The sense is God has decreed an overthrow. Of what? Of this nation, and probably all the Western Five Eyes nations, which we're seeing right now. Yeah, I was afraid Monograph might be live, Mrs. Cat, but I've got to do this. I'll be done in a minute. Today, with all the grief that I've been in, some wonderful things happened today, and I went out to thank God for it and to ask for deliverance. I wanted deliverance for those who are close to me, my family, my friends, etc., but also anybody else in this country that is deserving of it. Hi, Monty. I'm glad you're here. Sorry I'm walking over you, my friend. I just got to get this up, and you might think I'm crazy, but this is, I'm going to say it. God be my judge. So tonight, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the eastern sky, and these letters appear. Pei, Shin, Ayin. What it means is sin, trespass, rebellion, turn away from God. It's not saying I did. It's saying that when you put these two things together, God's dropped the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen. There aren't enough people. Remember Abraham when he talked to God in the plains of Mamre, and he said, God said, I'm going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because of what I'm hearing about it. And Abraham says, well, if there are 50 men, will you spare it? Okay, God says, I'll do it for you, Abraham. And Abraham says, well, how about 40? Okay, Abraham, I'll do that. 30, yeah, okay, I'll do that. 20, okay, I'll do it. How about 10, Abraham? Abraham says, how about 10, God? God says, okay, for 10, I will not destroy it. And he couldn't find 10. Well, when you do the math, and I did this on a video, I don't know, several years back, to show what the population of Sodom and Gomorrah, just guessing at that point in time, I think I gave it a number of about 30,000. And that could be way off, but it was just a what if. When you compare 10 righteous men out of 30,000, guess what? We don't match that in America today, because we're either complicit or we're tolerant and we go along with the evil. There is almost nobody standing up against the evil in this country or in any of the Five Eyes nations today. Oh yeah, there are 500,000, they say, people on the streets about the lockdowns and things that are happening in the UK. What's happening here in the US? And that's over that. It's not about Jimmy Savile. It's not about human trafficking. It's not about the worship of Moloch and the sacrifice of human beings. I'm glad they're out there doing this thing against these horrible things that this plan has done to us. But it's not enough. It's not enough. So, call me crazy. Say that, Roy, you really need to take a vacation. Maybe you ought to go drink a little scotch and just forget about all this. I'm sorry. I was asking for a blessing, and God said, Well, I saw in the sky February 26th, a decree of an overthrow, and today that there is a sin, a trespass, a rebellion, a turning away from God wholesale. Percentage wise, there aren't 10 people. Percentage wise, whatever that will equal to. I think I figured it out one day. It would be about 30 million. There aren't 30 million people in the United States that are, and I don't know what would be in Britain or Australia, but there aren't 30 million people in the United States that are steadfast for the truth and will not compromise. There are not 30 million of them. That distresses me because I have kids, grandkids, loved ones. I see them killing us with all of these things that they're doing, and we just stand by and we take it. So I felt like I needed to report on that. Accept it, reject it. You know, they said the prophets were insane. I'm not calling myself a prophet. I'm just saying, hey, I see these things, and I didn't want to bring this up today. I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But with everything else that's happened, Felicia knows what I'm talking about. I was reviewing the video that I made in tribute to Bettina today, and I saw something. And I went, oh man, and some other things that happen. And again, Felicia knows what those are. And I don't mean to keep all the rest of you in the dark, but it wouldn't be fair to Bettina's family to give you the information at this point. And I don't know that I ever can. But there are some special things that are going on. If we open our eyes and if we allow God to enter into our hearts and minds, you're going to start seeing things that you wouldn't normally see. And I'm not talking about, I understand that with the as Monty would call it, the 5-7 and all of those things. Okay, and those who don't know what the 5-7 is, maybe somebody can bring it up. With all of the things that are going on with the electromagnetic spectrum that they're using against us, we can see holograms. We can hear voices. We can do all these things. There's a way to test those, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure they're real. Okay, and I can't go over all of that here, but I'll tell you what one of them is. Okay, just one way to test them, and that is if you can reach out and touch and feel. If you can't reach out and touch and feel, that's one warning sign. You got to take that into consideration. The other thing is that if this thing comes patting you on the back, telling you how good you are, that's a warning sign. Because usually when God comes to you, he spanks your bottom first. Usually. Okay, that's all I've got. Uh, I'm not going to explain that, John B. There's some things you just got to find out for yourselves. I'm just giving you some basic information. Okay, I've explained to you. I think, and this is my understanding. Okay, I admit it. I admit it. We are in the image of God. It's not just an ethereal, vapor like thing. Okay? We are His children, literally. We are in a mortal state. So we have blood in our veins. Okay? It's a mortal condition. I'm not going to say anything more about it tonight. We're in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. You better get your acts together. I can't say I've got mine together. My family is not prepared to the point that I would like them to be. Partially for unbelief on their part, partially because of the inability to get the resources to be able to do it. But you have to do as much as you possibly can. We're done. We are over with. The charter that the people gave and the states gave to the federal government has been violated completely. There are those in, I'm going to just say this, Catholicism, who believe that we never should have gone here, that we should have been subject to the monarchy, to the hierarchy of theocracy. I don't agree with that, because the horrors that were done under the auspices of the Roman Church were damn near as bad as what we're going to see here shortly under this system. So it's not the system so much, it's the people that run it. But we're so anxious to point fingers at the cause of our grief, of our inability to overcome the slavery, when it's really us, because we think somebody else will do it for us. I'm not going to get into a doctrinal dissertation or disagreement or argument or debate tonight. I don't care what you believe. I don't care. But you better pay attention. I think something's happening, and it's going to happen real fast. We're having blackouts. I did that situation today. They're coming down hard on, people are having their bank accounts closed. People are being ordered to get this GMI ordered to by courts, by governments. You can't buy or sell without it in some places. It's already happening. It doesn't have to be a particular mark. The system is here and it's attacking us. And I'm getting a little tired of Alex Jones saying they're running, we're beating them, we're beating them back. No, we're not. Not when he supports Trump and won't call him out. Somebody tell Laura O'Neill what a GMI is. I'm not going to repeat it. I've already said that. You guys will have to figure it out between each other. Yeah, Woody Hayes. I don't care if he's not CIA or not. The problem is he's not doing his audience justice now by pretending that Trump is a savior. Okay, he's not. And I've already explained all that. If you don't know, go back and look at my videos, and you go back and look at Nancy Morganhart's Headlines with a Voice. You can go look at uh, uh, what's the name of that High Impact Flicks, High Impact TV. Those people tell the truth. They don't whitewash it. Legal Man, we're in a lot of trouble. And when you see the abomination of desolation, which is an incorrect translation as well, but I won't go there. You got to stand in the holy place. What's standing in the holy place? It's being separate. Holy means, Kodesh means separate. You're away from it. You get as far away from it in one way or another, or in as many ways as you can. You don't partake in the sins of Babylon. All right, everybody. That's all I got. What can I say? So I've passed this on to you, and do with it as you will. Out here.